After receiving the product, inspect its appearance, structural parts, and packing list for any damage or inconsistencies with the ordered product. If any issues are found, contact your distributor immediately. Please carefully inspect the contents according to the provided item list after unpacking. If you notice any damage or items missing, kindly reach out to the dealer for assistance. We have accessories at the top, including an installation plate, a user manual, a quick installation guide, and the necessary installation accessories for the packaging. Remove the single-phase hybrid inverter from the packaging box. Take out the installation board. Note: when installing, please use a spirit level or a leveling ruler to ensure that the mounting plate is in a horizontal position. Put the mounting plate on the wall horizontally and mark positions for drilling holes. Drill holes to a depth of 80 millimeters using the hammer drill. The diameter of the drill bit should be 10 millimeters. Note: make sure there is no electrical connection. Before installation, before drilling, avoid the water and electricity wiring in the wall. Remove the expansion sleeve and install it directly into the prepared hole or secure the mounting plate. Using the expansion bolts, use an electric screwdriver to install and tighten the self-tapping screws into the expansion sleeve. Install the inverter on the mounting plate. Remove the side fixing screws of the inverter and tighten them using an electric screwdriver. Retrieve the PV terminals and communication terminals from the accessory box. Strip the insulation from each DC cable by 7 mm to 8 mm. Use a dedicated crimping tool to securely crimp the stripped bare copper conductor. Loosen the nut on the terminal housing and slide the nut and waterproof washer onto the PV power line in the correct order. Insert the crimped wire from the back of the PV terminal housing into the terminal, ensuring you hear a click sound to confirm successful fixation. Tighten the cap at the back of the terminal. Be sure to check the polarity correctness. Perform the same operation on the other end, making sure to insert it from the back of the PV terminal housing into the terminal. Once you hear a click sound, it indicates successful fixation. COM connection. DRM COM connection follows the same process. Use wire strippers to strip a small section of the outer sheath from one end of the communication cable, exposing the inner wires. Insert the wires into the crystal connector, side by side in the specified order shown in the diagram. Use a dedicated crimping tool to securely fasten the crystal connector onto the communication cable. Note: during installation, ensure that the pins at both ends of the communication cable correspond to each other. Remove the nut and back shell from the communication wire terminals of the electric meter. Place the nut and back shell onto the two communication wires, one after the other. Insert one of the two core communication wires into the 6th terminal of the battery electric meter communication wire. Insert the other wire into the 5th terminal. Use a small crosshead screwdriver to secure the wire ends. Install the back shell of the terminal onto the communication terminal head. Install the nut onto the back shell in a clockwise direction and tighten it. Follow the video instructions to install the AC power line. On the AC side, start by using a wire stripper to strip the insulation off the AC power line. Secure a circular terminal onto the end of the AC line. Using a crimping tool, separate the AC terminal nut, waterproof washer, and rear cover, and then sequentially slide the nut, waterproof washer, and rear cover onto the AC line. Strip one end of the ground wire using wire strippers. Use a crimping tool to secure the terminal onto the stripped end of the ground wire. Repeat the same process for the other end of the ground wire. Secure one end of the ground wire to the side of the enclosure. Using an M5 screw and a torque screwdriver, secure the other end of the ground wire to the main ground terminal. Connect a battery ground wire to the inverter enclosure. Please ensure that the ground wire is connected to the main ground terminal, following the specified sequence. Do not connect all ground wires together and then connect them to the main ground terminal. Install the PV wire with PV terminals into the PV input terminal, located at the bottom left corner of the enclosure. Install the battery wire with battery terminals into the battery input terminal located at the bottom left corner of the enclosure. Install the battery communication wire into the COM port, located at the bottom end of the enclosure. Connect the communication wire of the electricity meter to the communication port located on the bottom end of the enclosure. Install the Wi-Fi dongle into the Wi-Fi port. Use a matching crosshead screwdriver to sequentially fasten the AC line onto the terminal head. Connect the other end of the battery power wire to the output terminal of the battery. Connect the other end of the battery communication cable to the battery communication port. Connect the AC wire from the inverter to the terminal, and then connect it to the output terminal of the meter. Install the grid wires with terminals one by one, corresponding to the input terminals of the meter. Connect the AC ground wire to the pay bar. Then connect the EPS to the loads, and connect the apps ground wire to pay bar. Install the wire end corresponding to port 6 into the communication port H of the meter using a screwdriver, and install the wire corresponding to port 5 into the communication port L of the meter. As shown in the video, port 21 is for H and port 22 is for L. First, turn on the grid switch, then turn on the apps switch. Move the DC switch from the off to the on. Finally, the screen will light up.